Hey, friends. Oh boy, it has been a really interesting day. I just looked through. I'm laughing and stopping talking because I realize, maybe y'all aren't as weird as I am. Do you end up with like 100 something tabs open on your mobile browser? Because I do. I just went through like 109 tabs and I'm like, why are these open? And I realized that probably half of them were open to things that I read, like here on Reddit. This is 5 months ago. Things that I wanted to share with you or thoughts that I had, and I just didn't follow through with them. Partly because I'm like, nobody cares, but also because it meant at the time that I would have to get up off the couch and go do something about it. So what I recognized yesterday was this is my opportunity to just kind of talk directly at you and also generate more questions and stuff. So something that I specifically saved from my tab purge of last night was this one because, well, it's an easy one. Are all the job postings just on LinkedIn now? Y'all, if I find out that this is one of you, I will be so mad because no, it is in no way just on LinkedIn. In fact, a ton of jobs are not on LinkedIn, and it's just that you don't have the pattern of behavior of looking anywhere else. Somebody mentioned this morning that they are feeling a little bit demotivated and they've kind of run out of some energy when they're looking for jobs. So what did they do? They said, I just went back to spraying and praying on LinkedIn. I understand. That is a totally valid response to the overwhelm that you feel by not having a job and wanting one. There's just a sense of, there's so much that I need to do to get a job. And it just feels like there's so many things to do that you almost get caught up with analysis paralysis. And that's understandable. But I wanted to bring this to your attention today because we know that's why this person was like, I just went back to spraying and praying on LinkedIn. Well, you know that they're giving that, because they know it's a terrible idea. It's not going to get you a job. It's not. I've never found a job. I take that back. I cannot say for certain, but most jobs that I have gotten have not been because of LinkedIn. How have I gotten those? I would need to go do like a deep dive into my memory and find those. But most of the time it's because someone I know has said, so-and-so is looking for a UX designer. Let me put you in touch. That's why we say networking is so essential. So yes, jobs and LinkedIn are linked, but the jobs on LinkedIn aren't necessarily your ideal situation. Okay, so I wanted to dive into some of the comments. Someone here, the very top one, an experienced person says, Google Jobs is pretty good, but get a recruiter. What does get a recruiter mean? How do I just go get a recruiter? That's not how recruiting works. What they're saying is they'll look at your portfolio and match you with a company. There are such people as reverse recruiters that will actively be your representative and go find jobs that you qualify for. Here's the problem. You're paying them. Most recruiting does not work like that. Most recruiting is a recruiter is either hired by a company, so they're an external recruiter. The company says, we have a need to hire this position. We don't want to do that work because it takes a lot of time and effort to find that person. So we're going to hire this company or this agency or just this freelance recruiter to go find us someone to fill that role. That recruiter will then look at their connections, find out who's available, and source from their level of connections first, and then they will expand beyond that circle. So get a recruiter is what they're saying here is go find a recruiter that will work for you. Well, do you have the cash to pay someone to go find jobs for you? Not really. I never did when I was looking for jobs. So you probably don't either, especially in this market we're in right now. I'm feeling like that's not really an option. So what you need to do is go connect with more recruiters, be on their radar, connect with them as humans, not just as people gatekeeping jobs that you may or may not qualify for. So get in touch with a recruiter, but be networking. LinkedIn is invaluable for networking. Exactly. Something else I would say is look for companies that are recruiting agencies and get on their roster. So one of the things that you'll want to do, and this is an article that I posted January 5th, just a collection of links, places to look for UX work. This is, I believe, available to absolutely anyone and anywhere. What are the things that I was thinking? Robert Half is on here. Robert Half, why jobs? Robert Half, doesn't matter. Tech Systems, Robert Half. Why am I not seeing this? Oh, is it down here? There it is. RobertHalf.com. Robert Half is a staffing agency. You can literally just Google staffing agencies near me and call them and say, I'm looking for this kind of work. I'd like to connect with one of your recruiters and be on like your list of people that you call. That's one way you can do it. That's if you feel motivated and you want to reach out to people in your area and get to know face to face. You might also find out what events they go to, so you can go to those networking events and get to know people. People like to hire people that they know, like, and trust. It's the same thing as me hiring a plumber. I'm definitely going to pick a plumber that someone I know has had a good experience with. This is just one option. There are many, many other trusted staffing agencies in this industry and that serve like adjacent industries. So don't only focus on the tech industry ones. There are people who need, Creative Circle is one on here as well. I believe Cyber Coders. There's a ton of them on here, but Robert Half is specifically a staffing agency. Vanderhouen. Is Vanderhouen on here? Vanderhouen is another one. There are so many of them. Very few of them focus specifically on UX jobs. So just know that. Let's see. Google Jobs is pretty good. Let me minimize that. There are niche and specialist job boards. That is what this list is. And there's a ton on here that I didn't see prior to working for the curriculum team. And this was actually gathered by a whole bunch of different people. Then I added a list to it. So I've just maintained this list of URLs as things that I can send your way. I mean, there's Fiverr on here too. So like, it's not my favorite. It is a big, huge gathering of things that you could possibly look for work on, not UX specific. This is a good example, levels.fyi.jobs. I wonder if that's on here as well. If not, I need to add it. Some folks were finding not super awesome luck. Then my favorite part is when people talk about, if I see that 500 plus people have applied, I just move on. Hey, those numbers are not necessarily accurate. Here's the thing. It's more about timing than about numbers. It doesn't matter what number of people you are, like it probably does. Let's be real. So maybe don't go for being number 15,000 in line, but try to apply for jobs within the first 24 hours that they've been posted. And that is a certain level of anxiety. I completely understand. So, see, that's also helpful. Anybody who has clicked the apply button counts as part of those 500 people. It doesn't mean they've actually filled it out. It doesn't mean they're actually qualified. So just know that those numbers shouldn't scare you away. There are going to be red flags. What is this word I'm thinking of? Deal breakers. Basically, they're not going to qualify on some very basic thing. So don't feel like that 500 people can like scare you off from a job. Apply for it. And then my final thing that I found of use here is Aura. Some people say they have better curated roles. Some people say that they didn't find anything better than was on LinkedIn. But the real takeaway is don't rely on just LinkedIn to find jobs. There are way more creative ways to look for jobs. Come look at some of these links. Don't overwhelm yourself and try to do it all in one day. But hopefully this is a little bit of helpful information and encouragement to don't give up and don't only focus on LinkedIn. All right, I'll see you later.